Hello. So we're gonna keep working on the number 3 and below because the other video the sound it was off for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand, but that happened. So it says a Sierra box is 10.4 inches high, 7.4 inches long, 2.3 inches wide. What is the volume of the cereal box rounded to the nearest cubic inch? Well, you're gonna go to your formula paper. Well, in the case of the EOC, so the formulas that is on the screen. So this says the volume equal the area of the base times the height, yeah? But if you notice, if you have a cereal box, so you have a cereal box, so something like this, choose. Yeah, so they says that the height is 10.4, the length is 7.4, and the width is 2.3 inches wide. So the area of the base is a rectangle in the base, so it's length times width and times height. So therefore the volume will be the multiplication of the three numbers, the length times the width times the height. Yeah, so it's 10.4 multiplied by 7.4 times 2.3. Yeah. So let me put the parentheses instead of dots because that confused. Okay, now all of the numbers are decimal. So you put it in the calculator that give you the volume to the nearest inch, 177 inches to the third power. So it's 177. It said Joe measured the sides of the 4 triangles. He measured the side lengths of one triangle incorrectly. Which triangles was measured incorrectly? So the first two sides measured need to give you greater than the largest side. So you're gonna put like a 6 plus 6 need to be greater than 15. 8 plus 9 need to be greater than 10. 1 plus 18 need to be greater than 18. And 11 plus 15 need to be greater than 24. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 is not greater than 15, so this is the incorrect one. 8 plus 9 is 17, 17 is greater than 10, 19 is greater than 18, 11 plus 15 is 26, that is greater than 24, so the only incorrect is 8. Because 12 is not greater than 15. Okay. So 32. It says Mary created the circular window represented below. She knew that angle 1 and angle 2 were supplementary and that angle 1 and angle 3 angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because they are vertical. So remember, vertical angles measure the same. Yeah, so also 2 and 4 are verticals. Yeah, we can put that in here. Yeah. So 1 and 2 side by side are supplementary because measure 180 grados, 180. Okay, so what must be true from 2 and 3? Well, 2 and 3 are side by side also, but need to be supplementary. Yeah, so the answer need to be C. Yeah, side by side angles, side by side angles are supplementary. Yeah, supplementary. Okay. on a perpendicular lines. Okay. Okay, this says number 33 is a company is planning to sell juice boxes represented by the figures shown below. What is the total surface area of the box? Yeah. So the surface area of the box, this is a prism, yeah? So it's the lateral surface area plus 2 times the base, yeah? But the lateral surface area also is the perimeter times the height plus 2 times the base. So if you follow the line here in the back and connect, yeah. So it says the perimeter. So then the number here 10 is the same in the back, 5 and 5 on the sides, yeah, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters. So first thing, perimeter. Perimeter is 10 plus 10, 5 and 5. So 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 5 is 30. That's 30 centimeters. The second step is find the area of the base. The base is the 10 times 5, the length times the width. So 10 times 5, that is 50. And then you substitute the numbers in order to find the surface area. The surface area is the perimeter, that is 30 times the height. The height is 11 plus 2 times the base, 2 times 50. Yeah? So 30 times 11 is equivalent to 330 plus 2 times 50 is 100, and that will give you 430. Okay? So 430 centimeters to the cube. Yep. So the next one, it says here the equation of the circle is x plus 2 squared plus y plus 3 to the square equals 4. But you need to remember that this formula is not in the formulas. You need to remember that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. If you don't remember that, remember if it's the number here is positive, it's negative, if it's negative, it's positive. So saying that, I have signs positive, so that means that we are looking for a center that both coordinates are -2 and -3. And the square root, because you need r, you don't need r squared, find the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So our center is -2, 3, so this is in the quadrant 3 in the coordinate plane, and the radius is 2. So we need to look for this point to be -2, -3, so in this quadrant. So let us go down, -2, -3 is right here, so and is the radius 2, so the answer is D. Okay, so number 35 is that Joe's garden is the shape of hexagon, so 6 sides. The measure of the 5 angles are 160, 90, 60, 160, and 80. What is the measure of the remaining angle? So in order to know what, if you notice that the dimensions of the measurement of the angles are different, so this is not a regular hexagon, so you need to know how much in total is supposed to measure the all the sides together. So there's a formula that is not coming, so you need to know it, is the angle interior for any polygon is the sides n minus 2 times 180. Yeah, that will give you the amount of the total measurement of all the angles together. So you're gonna, the sides, and represents how many sides. An hexagon have 6 sides, so 6 minus 2, that is 4 times 180. So 4 times 180 is equivalent to 720. So that means that all those angles plus the mystery angle need to sum 720. So you let us do that. So 160 plus 90 plus 60 plus 160 plus 80 plus the one that you don't know. All of them give you 720. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you know. The mystery one give you 720. The sum of all these numbers together is 550. Yeah, plus x need to give you 720, sorry. Subtract 550 both sides. And x is equivalent to 170. And that's it. So the number 36. Oops, sorry. It said Sean has a greenhouse in the shape shown in the figure below. He keeps new plants in the room presented by the shaded area. What is the perimeter of the room and that is shaded? So they ask you for this area here. If you notice, from here to here is 10. They says here 10. Well, from here to here is the same measure as from here to here. So it's 15. So that means that 10 and 15 is 25. That's the same as the other side. And then for knowing this portion here, we don't have the measure here, but we have the measurement from here to here. And the whole measurement from the top is 40. So that means from finding this spot is 40 minus 28, sorry. 40 minus 28 is the measurement of this side. And the top portion also, that's the same. So that will give you 12, and this is 12. So what is the perimeter? Yeah, so the perimeter equal all the sides together. So we have 10, 15, 12, and 25, or 25 plus 25 and 12 and 12. Yeah, 25 plus 25 is 50 plus 24, because 12 and 12 is 24. That is 74 feet. Boop. Yeah, that's it. Okay, number 37. It says the measure of the angle ABC is 45. The length BC is 7. What is the area of the sector ACB rounded to the nearest tenth? Okay. Okay, so nearest tenth is 1 decimal nearest tenth. Bueno, so you need to put the formula of the area of the circle that also is not coming. It's n over 360, but we have the area of the circle that is pi r squared. Yeah, you need to remember that it's just this the n that is represent the angle here divided by 360. Yeah, so plug in the n, that is 45, and put that number in the calculator, all of that divided by 360. So 45 3.14 times r, that is 7 to the second power, so it's 49 times 45 times 3.14, all of that divided by 360, and the area of the sector is equivalent to 19.23. that is rounded to the nearest 10, 19.2, but they don't round it, so it is what it is. So inches to the second power. So the answer is 8. They have a mistake here because it says nearest 10, but they rounded to the nearest 100. They mess up, but you have the answer. Okay. So it says, which three-dimensional shape can be formed from the net below? Well, this is a box, yeah? So this is the front, this is the back, this is the top, the bottom, and this is the sides of the box, yeah? So it's a prism. A cube have the same style, but every single one is a square. Yeah, so if I draw it, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, and another square here, another square here. So a pyramid, a square pyramid, for example, have a base that is a square and 4 triangles. Yeah, and a cylinder, it look like have a rectangle with 2 circles like this. Yeah. So let us do 39. So figure NMPO is isosceles trapezoid, and the figure NNOR is a parallelogram. So this is a parallelogram. So the sides measure the same. The angles, opposite angles, measure the same. So and it says here the MPR and P, remember the P in the center is the angle. Perdóneme, MPR, yeah, the R is in this side, not in the other. Ampere, this is 62, yeah, because it's isosceles. So this angle needs to be the same as this angle. So the angle P is supplementary. So these two sides are supplementary. So that means this angle here is going to be 180 minus 62. So let us do that. 180 minus 62 equal 118. And because it's isosceles, this is 118, but also this one is 118. Okay? So if these two are 118, this one is 62 because 62 plus 118 are 180 because side by side angles in a parallelogram. So the angles in the corner, so this, and this need to be 180. Yeah, so this whole angle is supposed to be the same as this one. Yeah, so the angle M is supposed to measure completely 118. But if this is 62, this will be the 62. And they ask for R and P. RMP, this angle here, RMP. So that means that if this is 62 and the whole angle M is 118, so it's 118 minus 62 give you this one. So 118 minus 62, that give you 56. So this angle here is 56. This is what I'm looking for, and the answer is 8. Yeah, and this also is 62 because if this angle is 62, this is 62, and you check 62, so plus 62 is 124 plus 56, that is a triangle, give you 180. Yeah, so that's all. Number 40. So it says, what is the value of x? SOHCAHTOA. So each time that you see an angle with the angle of inclination with a degree and two sides and one mystery and the other one non-mystery is SOHCAHTOA. So what we need to do is look at angle 40 the angle 40, the opposite side is 12, and always opposite. Remember that the angle is formed by the even opposite or adjacent side. So opposite to the right angle is the hypotenuse. So we need to check if this is SOHCAHTOA. Okay? And when we check the SOHCAHTOA, so we have opposite O and H. OH is SOH. So that means is the sin of 45 equals opposite, that is 12. X is the hypotenuse, yeah? And as you know, I told you when the X is in the bottom, swap, yeah? If the number is in the bottom, multiply. So X equals 12 divided by sin of 45. You put that in the calculator, and that give you 16.97, but just like a 16.97 do not give me anything. Yes, you have answers here. You can check what is the measurement of each one, and whoever gives you 16.97, that's the answer. You check the first one, the square root of 2 in the calculator, 1.41. The 12 times square root of 2 is 16.97. And that's the answer, Yippee. If you do the other one, is 20.73. And 24, but it's not 16.97. So the answer is B. SOHCAHTOA. Okay, 41. So it said, what is the length of RY? So they ask you for X. We did this in the class. So we said that when we have 3 known numbers and 1 unknown, you need to write it as a ratio, as a fraction, a small over big. So, and you put it in order for same side, yeah? So small, big, small, big, yeah? So it's gonna be 6 over 14 is equal to X over 7. So you can, there's a relation between 14 and 7, so and then the top need to have the same relationship. So one number divided and give you 7. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that's the answer, 3. Another way to do it is cross multiply. So 14 times X and 6 times 7, that is 42. You still divide it, and X is the same as 3. Doesn't matter. The way that you prefer to do it, it gives you the same answer. Okay, another SOHCAHTOA. How I know? Angle here. They give you the measurement of the ladder. So the ladder measure 15 feet. Yeah. And this is the hypotenuse. This is they ask you for how high, the height. You have 2 sides, 1 known, 1 unknown, and the angle, SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA. Yeah. So let us write the equation, but first we need to determine the X is the opposite, and we have the hypotenuse, opposite hypotenuse, SOH. So it's the sin of 62 equal the opposite is X, and 15 is the hypotenuse. So when you have a number in the bottom, multiply, and the X is equivalent to 15 sin of 62. Put that in the calculator, and that will give you 13.24 feet. Okay, a foot. So circle the answer, and voila, the answer is B. Okay, So let's do number 43. This is the grain bin below is made of a cylinder with a cone on the top. To the nearest cubic foot, how much grain will this bin hold? Using 3.14. Okay, so cubic feet, they ask you for find the volume of the figure. Okay, so the volume of the figure, the volume of the cylinder equals pi r squared times h. So remember, is the b, the area of the base, times the height, the formula, yeah? So volume equals b times h, but the b, what is the b? It's a circle. You have a circle. What circle's area is pi r h, yeah? Substitute the numbers. So it's 3.14 multiplied by r, and they give you the diameter. The diameter is 30, so the r is 15. So 15 square times the height, but the height of the cylinder is 20. So that will give you 14,130 feet to the third power cubic feet. Okay, so now we need to find the volume of the cone. So we have the height is 20, 35 minus 20 is 15. So the height of the here is 15 feet. Yeah, and the radius is the same as the volume here, that is 15 also. So the volume of the cone is 1/3 base times the height, but the base of the cone is a circular, so that means is 1/3 pi r squared times the h. So everything in the top, then divided by, multiply and divided by 3. So plugging everything, so it's 3.14 multiplied by 15 to the second power times the h. The h in the height is 15, yeah, and all of that divided by 3. Okay, so it's 3,532.5. Yeah, if you round it to the nearest whole, even though add it up, yeah, these together, because it's the combination of both. So volume total is the addition of 14,130 plus 3,532.5, that will give you 17,663 feet to the cube. To the cube, okay. So remember, you need to find the volume independently and then add it up at the end. Okay, so the answer is B. Okay, so 44. Hannah cut a quadrilateral form from a piece of a cardboard with the diagonals having the following characteristic: congruent, perpendicular, bisect each other. Which type of quadrilateral must Hannah have cut out? Well, is when the diagonals are congruent, that is a characteristic of the square. because the square have everything. The square have diagonals, perpendicular, and congruent. That definitely is bisect each other, you know. It's a square, yeah, because the rectangle and rhombus have the rhombus are perpendicular, the rectangles are congruent, bisect each other, but the combination of both is a square, yeah. So the rectangle have congruent and rhombus perpendicular, but the combination of both is the square. That's it. So 45 said, what is the contrapositive of the statement below if a triangle is isosceles? Remember that this is the P. After if P, then is the Q. And it's a contrapositive is the converse negation. So is if not Q, then not P. So that means you need to start with the congruent side and finish with not isosceles. No, not having two congruent sides, muy bien. And then it's not isosceles. Oh, it's a switch and negation. Switch and negation. Switch and negation. Okay? So, 46. It's a lot of a building supply store is in the shape of a trapezoid, as is shown below. The broken line represents the fence used to divide the lot into parts. What is the length of the nearest whole foot of the fence that divides the lot? So again, if you see an angle here on inclination, they ask you for find the mystery side, that is the hypotenuse, and we have another side here. So actually this is the adjacent of this angle because it's side by side. It's not the opposite that you can make a line, yeah? So, and this is the hypotenuse because it's opposite to the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse. So we have hypotenuse and adjacent, so that's CAH. So katoa, but it's CAH, adjacent hypotenuse. So it's cos of 35 equal adjacent 170, hypotenuse is the mystery, yeah. So when the x is in the bottom, swap, yeah, and x equals 170 divided by cos of 35. And that give you equal 207.5, yeah. Round this to the nearest near whole foot because this says near whole foot, so 0.5 give you 208, yeah. So the answer needs to be 208 rounded. Okay, x equals 208 when you round it. Choose. Okay, 47. Using the figure below, what is the measure of BAC, back? BAZ. So this angle here. Wow. Okay, we have this angle here, but if you notice, it's formed an X. So that means these are vertical, so this is 115. So if we know, if these two are 115, so this one and this one measurements are the difference from 115 and 180, yeah? So you check 180 minus 115, that gives you 65. So this is 65, Yeah, so now the rule of the triangle, all the three sides sum 180, so add it up and subtract from 180. So 180 minus the sum of 53 plus 65, and that give you 62 degree. So that's the answer, 62. Yeah. Next. It said an insulated foam sleeve is made to fit over water pipe. The distance from the center of the water pipe to the edge of the sleeve is 6 inches. The hole in the center have a radius of 3 inches. What is the area of the face of the foam sleeve? Okay. Okay. So is the area, so area so we need to find the area of the big, area of the small, and subtract it, yeah, and then we have this area. Okay, so the area of the big minus the area of the small, yeah. So the area of the circle of the big is pi 3.14 r squared, yeah. So is 6 square minus the area of the small, we said that is 3, yeah, the area, the radius 3, so it's 3.14, sorry, times 3 to the second power, yeah, so it's 36 pi minus 9 pi, yeah, because they don't give you in terms of pi, they told you to use 3.14, but we need to put the decimals. So it's 113.04 minus 28.26 give you the shaded area there. So that give you 84.78 inches to the second power. Yeah. So the answer is C. Okay. Okay, this is 49. The net of the figure below can be whole into which of the following three-dimensional solids? So if you see, you have a bottom here that is a square, and then when you flip this one, it's like it's gonna be like make the pointy part, and then this close the sides, yeah. So we're gonna say that this is the base and these are the sides, and then you have two triangles. Para que lo puedan ver mejor. So I painted. Okay. So this is a triangular prism. Yeah. Yeah, a triangular prism. So the two triangles. Okay. So 50 said two tetrahedra are congruent. So tetra means 4, just in case, 4 sides. Two 4-side hydra are congruent. One tetrahedron is glued to the other so that the glued faces of the two tetrahedra completely cover each other, producing a new polyhedron. How many faces does the new polyhedron have? Okay, so you see that they say like it's 2 4-side figure. And then you glue it, so you have 4 plus 4 sides that give you 8. But when you glue 2 faces, that faces are not gonna, it's not gonna be, you cannot see it because it's glued. So that means that you need to subtract these 2 faces that is glue, and that give you that you can see 6 faces, so 8. Okay, 51. It says if PQRS is a rhombus, which statements must be true? Okay, so this is a rhombus, so the rhombus have sides that are measured the same. The diagonals here are perpendicular. Yeah. It says here must be true. Say angle PRS is a right angle. PSR. PSR. Not true. No. This is not a square or rectangle. PR, the diagonals, they are tell you they are the same. No, that is a characteristic of the rectangle. No, neither. No, no. The angle PQR, PQR, so this angle here, the angle Q, is congruent with QRS. This and this are congruent. No. PQ is congruent with QR. Yeah, eso sí. Okay, the sides are congruent. Okay, it says the measure of each exterior angle of a regular polygon is 45. How many sides does the polygon have? Okay, so the exterior angles equal 360 divided by n. Yeah, but the exterior angles is 45. But they ask you how many sides, how much is n? Well, on the same as SOHCAHTOA, you have a result here, and I need to solve for n. So just swap. So the n is equal to 360 divided by 45. And that will give you 8 sides. Yeah. So this is a formula. 360 divided by n give you the exterior angles. Okay. That's not coming. You need to know it. Okay. It says given. Let me put it smaller because I need to read the whole thing. Okay. It says given the k is parallel to m and parallel to n. K is parallel to m, so it was just extended, yeah, n. It said which statement justifies the conclusion that angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 are the same? So it says in the first one, if k is parallel to m and parallel to n and are cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. Those angles are not alternate. If K is parallel to M and N, that is the same. They said the same thing in the beginning. Then vertical angles are congruent. They are not vertical. These angles are not vertical. So then says they are alternate exterior angle. They are not alternate exterior neither. They are corresponding angles. So the answer is D. Okay, corresponding angles. Okay, 54. 54 says, which statement is the inverse of the statement below? Inverse is just the negation, not P, not Q. So this is P, this is Q. So we need if not P, then not Q. So in the same order, but is not. And we have is not. If a quadrilateral is not a parallelogram, no, they need to start with rectangle. If the quadrilateral is a parallel, no. If the quadrilateral is not a rectangle, then it's not a parallelogram. So that's it. Yeah, because need to start with the same, but the is, instead of being is just change it for is not. That's the only thing that you need to do. That's inverse. Okay? So that is something to memorize. Okay, it says which parts must be congruent to prove that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle PSR by SAS, side angle side. Yeah. So it's a angle Q is congruent to angle S. Angle Q is congruent to angle S. And QP is congruent to SP. No, that's not SAS. Yeah. So it's an angle Q, this angle, is congruent to this angle, and QR, so this one is congruent to SR, this one. Neither, yeah, because we need to have the angle in between. So side, angle, side. Okay, so angle QRP, QRP, so an angle here, is congruent to SRP, angle here. And QP is congruent to SP, but you need to have an angle in between. These have a side, and the angle here now works. Need to be the angle. SAS is like this. Side, angle, side. You need to have that. Okay? The angle in between. So QPR, QPR. So this angle here. And SPR. So this side here, the angle in between. And then QP and SP, you see? Side and angle, side, angle, side. You see the SAS? Okay. The next one, the figure below, I'm sorry, that's the last one. Sorry. Okay, 50, the 56, oh yeah, te cansado. So the figure, well, it said the eager, The figure below is a dodecahedron. Yeah, so that means is dodeca is 12 sides. One of the Platonic solids. How many edges does this solid have? Okay, so edges. So you have faces plus vertices minus edges equal to. Yeah. So faces we have 12. Yeah, because it's 12 sides, 12 faces. Yeah. So plus vertices. The vertices are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 here, but we're missing in the back 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 20. So we have 20 vertices minus the edges that you know equals 2. So this is 32 minus edges equals 2. You subtract 32 both sides. Negative a equals negative 30 divided by negative 1, so the edges is equivalent to 30. Okay, so we have here in the front, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and we have other 6 faces in the back. Okay, so okay, so we count this. So how I get to the 20? So if you notice, I count the 15. So we have other of this in the back, but we count these edges, so it's only 5 of this that we need to count, okay? Because we count this edge, and the edge in the center is this face. So that's why I give you 20. If you don't know it, again, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to erase it and make the dots again because it's difficult to count it like that with already the dots. So recount it. So as I said, all the marks that I have here, it counts plus the center, this one in the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Plus 5 of this in the back, that give you the 20. Just in case, I count it again, so you see it better, yeah? Because these dots are recount, yeah? And then have this same figure in the back, but it's united by this one, but you count this one that is touching the figure, you know, so that doesn't count. Yeah, you cannot count a double. So the only one that are not touching, that you cannot see it at all, is this one that is in the back. Okay, so should use the Euler formula. Even though you can put face plus vertices equal edges plus 2, or faces plus vertices minus edges equals 2. Doesn't matter. It's the Euler formula. Okay, let us do 57. So it says, what is the missing reason for the proof? Parallelograms ABCD with a diagonal BD prove that the triangle ABD is congruent to CDB. Okay, let us follow what it says here. Say AD is parallel to BC. AD. This side is parallel to BC. Definition of parallelogram. So angle ADB, remember D in the middle, let me put it bigger. I cannot barely see anything. ADB. So this angle is congruent to CBD. Oh, because they are to the interior angles. So AB, this side, is congruent with the bottom. So this side is parallel with the bottom. I just follow on what it says here. Number 4, it says ABD. Let me put it in another color. ABD. So this one is congruent to CDB. CDB. Now they are also alternate interiors. BD. So this line is sharing by the two triangles formed inside of the parallelogram. They are sharing the same side by reflection. And ABD is congruent to CBD by so it's angle, side, angle, ASA. So they have a mark of angle, side, and angle. And remember, is angle congruent, and congruent. ADB. So ADB is congruent to CBD. CB angle. And then the reflective. So you're gonna use the 3 marks that have congruence, and then to those marks you use it for determining. Oh, sorry. So it's based on ASA. Okay. 58, it says as an assignment, 2 students in the surveying class had to find to find the distance between the 2 trees separated by a pond. Okay, starting at the pine tree, they walk until they found a point that they marked as the survey point. The angle formed between the 2 pines, the survey point, and the oak tree was 60. Their sketch is shown below. Okay, that look like SOHCAHTOA again. It's famous in this test apparently. So the angle, yeah, you have this side. But what side we are looking for? To the nearest foot, what is the distance between the two pine trees and the oak tree? The two pine tree. Okay, so they ask you for this side. What is that? The distance between the two trees, the pine tree and the oak tree. Okay, so you need to solve for x, but this is opposite. Remember, these two sides form the angle. This is adjacent to 60, side by side, opposite, side by side. So that's TOA. This is opposite, adjacent. TOA is the tangent of 60 equal opposite, you don't know, adjacent 97. Each time the number is in the bottom, multiply, choose times. So the x equals 97 tangent of 60. Put that in the calculator and God give you to the nearest foot 168 foot. Okay, so that's the answer. 168, number 8. Yeah, the letter 8, number 8 letter. I'm tired. So the next one. So look at the conditional statement. If a figure is a pentagon, then it has 5 sides. Which statement is the inverse? Remember, verse is the negation. So need to set is not a pentagon and it is have not or does not have 5 sides. Yeah. So let me see. So the inverse is if not P, then not Q. So we have the P and this is the Q. So it's just negate those. So the answer is, if a figure is not a pentagon, then it does not have 5 sides. Oh, it's D. You can have the same order, pentagon, 5 sides, and it's not on those not. You see? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, number 60. So it says, given the ABC is a parallelogram, a student wrote the proof below to show that a pair of the opposite angles are congruent. This is the angle ABC is parallel. It's parallelogram given. So the BC is congruent. BC is congruent to AD. Opposite sides of the parallelogram are congruent, so AB is congruent to DC. Yeah, so these sides also are congruent, and AC is congruent to CA. Yeah, so this side here is reflexive because it's the transversal of the parallelogram, so form two triangles that are congruent but reflexive. So the triangle, so we have the reflexive. They are talking about the sides here, these sides congruent. So the triangle ABC and CDA, ABC and CDA are congruent by side, 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 because we're talking about side, 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 yeah? So angle DB and D, B and D are congruent, yeah? Because corresponding parts, yeah, el CPCTC, yeah, CP, corresponding part of corresponding congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. Oh my god, that acronym is annoying. The corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Ay, ay, ay. So remember, so the angles on side, they are talking about side and angles of triangles that are congruent is by CPTC, okay? Let's go to the 61. So in the diagram below, the triangle ABC, uy, se me cayó el lápiz. Where is it? Sorry. Okay. So in the diagram below, the triangle ABC, AB is congruent to AC. The measurement of angle A equals to 3x and the angle B equals to x plus 20. Okay, it said what is the value of x? So so it's a AB. So this side is the same as this side. So that means the angles need to be the same. These two are the same. So this is x plus 20 also. Because they are isosceles. When you have the two sides, the two angles measure the same. Because they are isosceles. So, and the three angles together give 180. So add it up and equalize to 180 and so forth. So you have 3x plus 2 times the angles here that are measured the same, x plus 20, and that gives 180. So 3x plus 2x plus 40 equals 180. Remember distribution property, 2x, 40. Add up the x's, so 3 and 2 is 5, x's plus 40 equals 180. Subtract 40, that give you 140 divided by 5. Okay, so x is equal to 28. Okay, so the next one says, what is the converse? Converse is the switch of the statement. If both those does his homework, remember they are just switching. P we could, then George get candy. So it's supposed to be if Q, then P. That is the converse. So the answer is the switch. We need to start with George instead of Bob. If George gets candy, then Bob does his homework. Okay, easy. So the second one. The second one in this page is 63. It said in triangle PQR, PQ equals to A, QR is 12, and RP is 13. Which statement about the angles of the triangle PQR must be true? Okay. So let's see that this is the triangle. So P, Q, R, and then PQ is 8 and QR is 12 and RP or PR is 13. Okay, so saying that the angles, yeah, so the sides to the opposite angle have a relationship, yeah. So that means that the association statement about the angles must be true. Okay, so angle Q is the largest because it's opposite to 13. So this one is related to this one. Then P is the median. It's the middle because it's opposite to P. And R is opposite to 8, so that is make it small. So that means the big one, the measurement of angle Q is the largest, then the measurement of angle P, then the measurement of angle R. And that's how it's supposed to be, so the answer correctly say. So the one that is correctly say. Remember the angles and the sides are corresponding to each other, so they have a relationship. Yeah, so even though you don't know the angle exactly, but based on the side that is opposite to the angle, you can determine who is the biggest, who is the smallest. And the same thing vice versa. If it's so, the angles told you the opposite side, who is the largest. Okay, 64. What is the contrapositive of the statement? It says, if I am tall, P, then will be a bump in my head, Q. But they ask you contrapositive, so that is the negation and switch. So it's not Q, not this one, not P. Contrapositive is if not Q, then not P. Okay, so the answer, you need to start with the bump or not. I do not bump my head, yeah, then I am not tall. Oh, okay, this one, so it's D. So it's not Q, then not P. Yep. Okay, so next, 65, it says the diagram below shows a part of the roof. The highest part of the roof is called the apex. How many feet above the base is the apex of the roof? Okay. So how many feet above the base is the apex from the roof? Okay. So we're gonna add the numbers in the base. So it's 5 plus 5 plus 5. So we're gonna add it. And the base is 15. Yeah. So the roof need to be greater than 15, but from the base to the apex need to be less than 15. Okay, so you say how many feet above the base is the apex of the roof. Yeah, so we're gonna use the measurement that we have. So we're gonna do like a line here. Yeah, so we're gonna use Pythagoras. So 4 square plus 5 square, that give you the square root of 41. So 25 plus 16, 41, that give you around 6.4. Okay, so okay, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6.4. Okay, so we're gonna multiply 6.4, and we're gonna multiply that by 3, and that give you 19.2. Okay, and the square root of 19.2 square minus 15 square. Yeah, so that give you around 11.98, that give you around 12. So the answer is 12. Okay, so I use this relation in here to find the hypotenuse here, and that hypotenuse give me 6.5. If you see that this is small, this is medium, this is large, well, assuming that 6.5 times 3 is 19.3, yeah, and then assuming that this is 19.3, assuming this one measurement, so that give you 19.2 here, and 15. We need to find this one. Subtract those numbers and give it 12. Okay, so that's it for this one. It said in the diagram below, ABC is similar to EFGH. Why they are similar? Because they're same shape, different size. Okay, so as you see, even though they are different size, they keep the angles. Yeah, because similar figures have the same angles, the same shape, but different size. Yeah, so it says AB divided by EF. So they are relating this side with this side. So AB is 3 and EF is 2. Yeah, so the perimeter of ABCD is 12. What is the perimeter of EFGH? So the small one. Okay, so if we relate this, we do the relationship that we have here. Yeah, and then we said that based on the side we can get the perimeter. Yeah, so we can find the measurement. Yeah, so we can say that the 3/2, yeah, equals the 212 and divided by x, that you know the large perimeter on one side and from the small side we know one side, but we don't know the perimeter. We cross multiply and divide. Or we can find what number times 3 give you 12, that is 4. You multiply 2 times 4 is 8. Yeah? Or cross multiply 3 times x equals 2 times 12. And divided by 3, so it's 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the answer is 8. Ay, perdonen. 8. So 67, 7 or 8, qué sé yo. 67. In the figure below, K is parallel to M. K is parallel to M. So these two are corresponding, yeah, 100, 80, 100, 80, 100, you know. So you can put whatever number to check if they are corresponding or not. Remember that if we put here that this is 80, this needs to be 100. And this is 100, this needs to be 80. Yeah? Oh, let me erase so this number do not confuse you. You can put it on the side. Okay. So if we use our sketch to know the relationship between these two angles. So if I said this is 80, 100, 180, remember that vertical angles are congruent. Repeat 80, 100, 180. And then we're talking about this angle and this angle. They are supplementary, not corresponding, how I said it first. I don't know. Estoy cieguita, mi niña está ciega. I thought I was looking here. Okay, these two are supplementary. Okay, so because they are supplementary, we can add it up and equalize to 180 and solve for x, because that's what they're asking you. Well, they ask us to solve for y, but if we know how much is this angle, then I know how much is y. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So so we're gonna put 3x plus 20 plus 5x plus 40. That give you 180. Oh, that 180, that pure factor is 180. Okay, so 3 and 5 is 8. 20 and 40 is 60, equals 180. Subtract 60 from 180, and the answer divided by 8 is 120, and you divide that by 8. The x is 15. If f is 15, so 3 times 15 plus 20, that give me actually the answer. Yeah? So 3 times 15 is 45 plus 20. 45 okay, sorry, 3 times, I'm so tired. Okay, so Okay, so that give you 65, and then there are angle pairs. So this is 180 minus 65, that is 115. So that's the answer. 115 is 4. Okay? So let us answer 68. It says here, given AD is parallel to EC and AD is congruent to EC. Prove that BC is congruent to CB. AB is congruent to BC. Okay, so AD is parallel to EC and AD is congruent to EC. Okay. Let us find here what it says. The triangle ABD is congruent to CBD by angle side. Okay, angle side. And we say ABD. ABD. So this angle is vertical with this angle. So B. So AD is parallel to EC and also congruent, given, yeah, with the marks. They give you the marks. Okay, AB is congruent to CB. So this side is congruent to this side because corresponding part of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, and angle DAB, sorry. Okay. So let me read it from my paper. So, and you follow it with the thing. Okay, it says DAB, angle DAB. So this angle here is referring. DAB is congruent to ECB. ECB. Yeah? So this angle sign. Okay. So vertical. Okay. Okay. Let me see the options. It said, which of these is the most logical order for the statements and reason? Oh, obviously. We need to know the first and the last. Yeah. The first is the given. I was like talking like, oh, what is this? No matter. I don't even read the. What is the question that you need to put in a logical question in a logical order? I don't know why they put the given here. The given is always the first thing. Yeah, first. The first is the 3. And then you go and eliminate. So you eliminate this one and this one. Okay? And then you need to choose between B and C. Okay. Okay, so this one it says 3 and then 2 vertical, congruent, muy bien. Then 5 if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, 5, then 1, and then the corresponding parts. Yeah, because if they ask you for CPCTC, that's the last one. So this one needs to be the last. This one is supposed to be the last. If you don't have CPTC, this one is the last, okay? So that means that the answer needs to be the one that had the last 4. Oh, well, B. Okay. 69. It said the truck is at the top of the ramp as shown below. Okay, approximate how high above the ground is the truck? Okay, so say how high is the truck? So it's another SOHCAHTOA. You have the hypotenuse. We need to find the height that is the opposite in this case. So we have hypotenuse and O and H, so is SOH. So it's the sin of 26 equals the opposite that you don't know, hypotenuse that is 4. When you have a number in the bottom, times, multiply. So the x equals 4 sin 26. And put that in the calculator, give you 1.75 meter. Okay. So 70. It's if a cube with side length 6 inches is the dimension divided in half, what will be the volume of the new cube? Okay. If the cube with the side length of 6 had its dimension divided in half, well, divided in half is 6 divided by 2 is 3. What is the volume? Well, let us check the original volume versus the new volume, yeah? So if you have a cube that have the size of 6, so is s to the third power, 6 to the 3 is 260. This was the measurements. But 6 divided by 2 is 3. But now the dimension changed, so the volume will be 3 to the third power, that is 27 inches to the cube. So the answer is C. Okay? It said when viewed from above, the base of the water fountain has the shape of hexagon composed of the figure on 2 congruent isosceles right triangles, as represented in the diagram below. So if from here to here is 10, oh, that means that from here to here is 10. So 10 and 10 is 20, so here is gonna be 20. yeah, and this one's gonna be 20, 20, 20. Okay, so it says that this is two congruent isosceles right triangle. Okay, so that means that the side need to measure the same. So we're gonna use the formula of the special right triangles, and the special right triangles establish that when you have the sides that measure the same, so you have x square root of 2. Okay, so and you have 20 here, so this one is the number that give you 2 times that give you 20, but multiply 2 times 10 is 20. Yeah, so this is 10 square root 2, 10 square root 2, and this one also is 10 square root 2, because 10 times 2 is 20. Yeah, because usually the hypotenuse is x square root 2, but if the sides, if the hypotenuse is a whole number, it's just the side is 2 times a number that give you the hypotenuse. Okay, so the answer will be D. Yeah, he said, which of the following best represents the perimeter? Yeah, because the perimeter equals 20 plus 20 plus 4 times 10 square root 2. Yeah, and that gives you 20 plus 20, 40, plus 4 times 10, 40 square root 2. Yeah, feet. Okay, so they ask for the perimeter. You see, 20 plus 20 and 4 times 10 square root 2. And that's it. Voila! Okay, 72. You said, what is the area in square inches of the triangle below? What is the area of the triangle? Okay, well, we need to determine the height in order to determine the area, because the area is half base times height, so we need to determine the height first. Okay, so if the base is 10, so the each portion is 5 and 5. Yeah, so assuming that, we can use the Pythagoras to find the height. Yeah, so because this is A, so in order to find A is the square root of 10 square minus 5 square. So it's 100 minus 25 is the square root of 75. That give you around 8.7. So the area equals half base times height. So now the height is 8.7. Yeah, so that give you half the base Yeah, so remember that we are finding one triangle, so multiply by 2 give you the 2 triangles, okay? So base, the base is 5, and the height is 8.7. We multiply that and give you around 21.75, and that area needs to be multiplied by 2 because we don't have only one triangle, we have two triangles. And give you 43.5. And you check your answers here, put it in the calculator, and actually 43.5 is the same result as 25 times square root of 3, give you around 23.5. Okay, so 73. It says triangles RST and BSU are shown below. Okay, as you see, this angle is the same as this angle, this side is the same as this side. Okay, it says angle R is the same or congruent to angle B, RT. This side is the same as this. Sorry. Which additional condition is sufficient to prove that RS is congruent to SB? SB. So then you need to prove that this side is the same as this side. Okay. This okay, so this angle here are both right, yeah. So if you notice, this is opposite to this one, yeah. So these two sides, these two angles here are the same. So sides are congruent, so the angle opposite is congruent. Okay, so based on that, we can set that BS, yeah, BS is perpendicular to RU. That's why they are just right here. So that makes the statement true. Okay. Use a proof to answer the question below. It said, given the side AB is congruent to BC, D is the midpoint of AC. D is the midpoint of AC. So that means this side and this portion of the side is the same because this one's the midpoint. So prove that triangle ABD is congruent to CBD. Okay, let us see the information given. It says AB is congruent, AB is congruent with BC. Okay. D is the midpoint of AC, given. AD is congruent to CD, how I said it. Let me put it another mark. Yeah. BD, so this one is a cherry line for both triangles, yeah? So if you notice, they are talking only by side, so side. So they are congruent by side. Only sides they are mentioned here. You see? Side, another side, another side. 3 sides. Side. Okay, so it says angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. They are alternate interior angles. 1 and 4 are alternate exterior angles. Yeah. So it says angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent, and 3 and 4 are congruent. Angle 1 and angle 4 are congruent by transitive property. Yeah. So if 2 is congruent to 3 and 1 is equals to 2, so and 3 equals to 4, so 1 and 4 are congruent. Okay, so that is true. Two vertical angles are congruent. Okay, let me see. Dibujo 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are vertical, 3 and 4 are verticals, yeah. So they are vertical angles, yeah. Vertical angles are congruent, that's what we're missing there. Okay, so formulas again. It says a circular cone has radius 5 inches and height of 8. What is the lateral area of the cone? Okay, the lateral area. So you need to go to your formulas, yeah. Lateral area, yeah, is pi RL, yeah, because it's not include the base, because it's the surrounding, the top portion, just the surround, okay. So that means that this one, if you notice, the answers are given in pi, so we're gonna put just pi, the R that is 5, and the L is the slanted height, but we need to find the slanted height before we do anything. So this one is the square root of these two squares, so square plus 5 squared, that give you the square root of 89, and then times square root of 89. Okay, so that's what we are missing. Multiply everything together. So if you notice, they put it like this. So it's 5 pi, square root of 59, and that's it. Yeah, 89. 89. I don't know where I put the 59. 89. Okay, so this one. Okay, almost done. So, I tell you, okay, 77. It's a new pipelines is being constructed to reroute the oil flow around the exteriors of the National Wildlife Reserve. The plan showed the old pipeline and the new route is shown. About how many extra miles will the oil flow once the new route is established? Old and the new. Yeah. Okay. And how about many extra miles? So how many extra miles? So that means subtraction. Okay. The new pipelines, the old pipelines. So let us find, so we have 60 miles here. And this is 32, so we need to find the all pi. So the new, we have it, that is 60 plus 32. That is 92 miles. But the all is the mystery. But the all, we can use Pythagoras to find it, yeah? So this is x. So it's 60 and 32. So it's the square root of 60 squared plus 32 squared. Find that, and that give you 68. So the x is 68. So you put 68 here, and it's 92 minus 68. 92 minus 68 is equivalent to 24, and that's the difference in miles. Okay, so you have 60, 32, we are missing this one. Find it to Pythagoras, subtract them, and that's it. The new minus 0. Okay, so this is need to do with the circle. It said, which of the following must be the radius of the circle? Okay, so we need to solve for r. It said the point -3, this is x, this is y, lies in the circle equation, la la la. So we have the x and the y, we solve for r. So we substitute the x, that is -3 plus 3, and then you square it, plus y, that is 2 plus 1 squared, and give you r squared. 3 minus 3 is 0, and 0 to the square is 0. And you have 3 to the second power equals r squared. So 0 plus 9 equals r squared, so r squared is 3. Yeah, so r squared equals 9, and the square root of 9, r is 3. It's substitution. Okay, 79. It says in the figure below, if a sin of x equals 5 over 13, what is the cos x and tan x? Yeah? Well, if the sin is opposite hypotenuse, and hypotenuse is 13, and the opposite of the x is 5, so on this one, you put the adjacent, we can find it by the Pythagoras, even though this is a perfect triplet. That is 5, 12, 13, yeah, is that, so we can, even though I'm gonna do it through Pythagoras, so I prove it. So 13 squared minus 5 squared, so it's 169 minus 25 is 144, and the square root of 144 is 12. How I said it in the beginning. So this is 12. So now we can do the cosine. So cos is kah. Remember kah. Adjacent hypotenuse. So cos of x equals adjacent 12, hypotenuse 13, and TOA, that is tangent of x, is opposite. Remember that this is opposite 5, and adjacent 12. So the answer is A. 12 over 13 cos tangent is 5 over 12. Okay, so number 80. It says, if a triangle ABC is rotated 180 degrees about the origins, what is the coordinate of A? Simple. So you're gonna take A, yeah, normal A. So that coordinate is 5, 4, 5, 4. Is go to the transformation of 180, and the transformation of 180 is negative x, negative y. So that means it's negative 5, negative 4, and that's it. That's the answer. So the answer is A. '81. It says here in the diagram below of a right triangle ABC, the altitude CD is drawn to the hypotenuse AB. If AD equals to 3, you have the number here, 3, and DB is 12, what is the length of the altitude CD? Okay. So I have a formula here. It says that the altitude that you don't know, then the measurement on the left equals the measurement on the right divided by the altitude. Okay, so cross multiply altitude times altitude, therefore altitude times altitude is altitude square equals left and right. So who are in the left and the right? So the left is 3, left and right, yeah? So it's 3 and 12. So 3 times 12 is 36 and the square root of 36. So cancel the square. So the altitude equals 36 and the square root of 36 is 6. So the answer is B. Okay. What is the converse of the following statement? If Gerald goes swimming, then he will wear his red swimsuit. Again, converse is the switch. We're gonna switch this one, swimming. Gerald goes swimming, that's the P. For the Q, he will wear his red bathing suit. So need to switch. Yeah, we need to write as if Q, then P. So the answer is his red bathing suit. He will go swimming. Up 8. '83. Oops, sorry. He said a sector of a circle is created from its central angle with a measure of 60. If the diameter of the circle is 6 inches, what is the area of the sector? Well, you have a circle, and they ask you the angle here is 60. Let me paint it. So they ask you for this area here. Yeah. Okay, and it says the diameter is 6 inches. So if the diameter is 6 inches, so the radius is 3 inches. Remember that what is matter is the radius, not the diameter. Well, the diameter give you the radius, just divide by 2. Okay, so we had now better a picture of what's going on. So the area of the sector is n over 360 pi r squared. If you see that they leave the answer with pi. So what we need to do is substitute the n, substitute the r, and voila, answer. So the n is 60 pi 3 to the second power divided by 360. Yeah, so the area equals 60 times 9 times pi divided by 360, and that gives you 1.5 pi, and that is the answer here, D, inches squared. Okay, it says the figure below represents the solid. For this solid, what are the E of the edges, the number of the edges, and faces, the F, the number of faces. Okay, so if you notice, you have a triangle here, so one triangle, 2, 3 in the back, 4 in the bottom. So you have 4 faces, and edges you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means the answer is 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. They don't ask you for vertices. So face 1, face 2. In the back, 3 and 4. Okay, given that x, y, and z, w intersect at the point A, which conjecture is always true about the given statement? Okay, you have x and y that intersect at point A. So you have 2 lines that intersect at point A. X, y with z, w. Yeah? It's a XA is equal to AY. That not necessarily. Angle XAZ is a cube. Neither. XY is perpendicular to ZW. Nope. XYZ and XY and ZY are non-collinear. Yeah, they are not belonging to the same line, yeah? So this one they are not collinear. They are different lines, yeah? They encounter in point A, but they are not the same lines. They don't belong to the same line. Okay, it's a right triangular pyramid has the height of 10 inches and a base of 41.57 square inches. What is the volume in cubic inches of the pyramid? The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. But it's a right triangular pyramid. So we need to find the base, but the area of the base already is given here, and the height is given, so it's just substitution. So it's 1/3 times 41.57 times the height, that is 10, and all of that divided by 3. So 138.6. Okay, so let us finish on here. 87. They say, when fall on the dotted lines, which net will not form a rectangular prism? So this one obviously is form 1. This one 2. Let me see between these 2 might see. Okay, so I fold it here up, and then this close this one. Yes, so it's this one. Okay, because you need to imagine that you like fold it onto here, then take the size here, and then fold this one with this one, but this one and this one close. You see that this one close, so that is good. Okay, number 88. It says, how many faces, edges, and vertices does the square pyramid have? So a square pyramid have a square and 4 triangles. So that means that have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the pointy here is made the 5 vertices. Vertices is 5. Faces is 5. Edges is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you told me what, I don't count this one, but if you count this one, it's the same as this one. If you count this one, it's the same as this one. Hello. So it's 8 edges. So it's 5, 5, 8. Okay, 5 vertices and vertices, edges 8. I believe it's C. Yeah. Okay, 89. It says the diagram shows an 8-foot ladder leaning against a wall. The ladder makes a 53 angle with the wall, which is the closest to the distance up the wall the ladder reaches. Okay, we have the angle. This is a socatoire, yeah? So they ask you for the height. So this angle here, this side here, sorry, is the adjacent to the angle here. This is the opposite to the right angle, so this is the hypotenuse. So adjacent hypotenuse is K, and K is the cos of 53 equals adjacent x hypotenuse A, number in the bottom, multiplication, and x equals 8 cos 53 in the calculator, and x equal 4.8. 4.8, that is B. This says the owners of neatly packaged company make a cylindrical containers that has the dimension shown below. Okay, so have the diameter 3.5. So you need to divide it by 2. So the radius, oh, what happened? So the radius equal 1.75. okay, inches. Is divide 3.5 divided by 2 give you that. So the height is 12. So it says, what is the approximate lateral area, surface area available for the package level? Lateral surface area equal 2 pi RH. So it's 2 times 3.14 times 1.75 times 12. Okay, 2 times 3.14 times the radius 1.75 times 12. All of that in the calculator give you 131.95 inches squared. So the answer is A. How many vertices does the polyhedron below have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You count it and mark it. Beep. We're getting to the end and it's glitching a lot. I'm sorry. But it is what it is. Okay. CD is the altitude of the hypotenuse of ABC, triangle ABC. What is AC? AC. Okay, this side. Okay. CD is the altitude of the hypotenuse. Okay. So again, when you give you the altitude, so we're gonna do the same formula, the altitude over the left. I don't know what I'm writing when it's so many delayed. Left equal right alternative. So we're gonna cross multiply altitude times altitude is altitude square equals right and left, right times left. This is left, this is right, this is the altitude. Yeah. Okay, take out the square root of that. So the altitude equal the square root of the right times the left, or the left times the right, doesn't matter the order, is 4 times 9. That is the square root of 36. And the altitude is equal to 6. Yay! So the altitude equals to 6. Yeah. So now they ask you to find x. Well, you say like, oh, I thought it was they ask you for the altitude. No, they don't give you the altitude. I need to find it in order to find this one. Yeah, we have to use Pythagoras to find the hypotenuse here. So x equal the square root of 6 squared plus 4 squared. So that means 36 plus 16. That is 52. And the 52 is the same as the 13 times 4 is 52. So the square root of 13 stays and the square root of 4 is 2. So it's 2 square root of 13. So that's the answer. Even though if you put in the calculator square root of 52 give you exactly the same as 2 square root of 13. That is a decimal. Okay. 93 says okay. A surveyor needs to find the width of the Miami River. Sighting a flagpole of the riverbank, the surveyor walks 95 yards along the riverbank. If the line of the side to the flagpole is 64 degrees, what is the width of the river round to the nearest whole yard? So the width of the river is the x, again, SOHCAHTOA. We have the adjacent. The x, that what we are looking for is the opposite of the angle. So is SOHCAHTOA, is TOA, by the way, because it's opposite and adjacent. So tangent of 64 is equivalent to opposite, that is the mystery, over the adjacent, that is 95. Multiply 95 by tangent 64 because the number's in the bottom, multiplication. So x, that's what you're looking for, is 95 tangent of 64. And when you put that in the calculator, it'll give you around 194.7. That give you rounded to the nearest whole, 195. 195, yes, yards. So the answer is D. Okay, it said a box of tissues measures 4.5 inches wide, 4 inches high, and 9.5 inches long. What is the surface area of the box to the nearest square inch? Okay, they ask you for surface area. Yeah. Surface area of a tissue box, like this. And they ask you the wide is 4.5, 4 inches high is the height, this is the width, and the length is 9.5. Yeah. And remember, we did already this one in the beginning, is repeating. Yeah. So 9.5, 4.5. So we need to find the perimeter. Yeah. On the area of the base. Yeah. Okay, so you need look in your formula. The surface area is the 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height. That's what it says, the paper. So we need to find how much is the perimeter, how much is the base, and plug in the numbers. So the base is 9.5 times 4.5. 9.5 times 4.5, yeah? And the perimeter is 9.5 times 2, yeah? And 4.5 times 2. 2 times 9.5 plus 2 times 4.5. So let me find that answer. I don't have it. Okay, so let me do it now. So 9.5 times 4.5, that give you 42. 9.5 times 4.5, 42.75 inches square. And the perimeter is 2 times 9.5 plus 2 times 4.5. It's 27.4. Is what? Inches. Okay, inches squared, inches. Okay. So it's 2 times the base, so it's 42.75 plus 27.4 times the height, that is 4. So it's 2 times 42.75 plus 27.4 times 4. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I did a calculation here. I put the numbers wrong in the calculator. Okay, almost. Okay, ¿dónde estoy? 94, 28, 27, 25, 94. Ok. 3.5 is equal to the surface area of the box. Déjame calcular otra vez. Se supone que dé 198. Que lo hice de otra manera aquí en mi papel. I did it in another way, but this is the formula that is in the paper. So that is the one that you need to use, because then if I put the other formula, then you're gonna get confused. Okay, but no tiene que dar. Okay, let me see again if I just myself in the calculation, because need to give the same. Okay, let me see the numbers are correct or not. The I is 4, the is 4.5 times 2. That is 9 plus 9.5 times 2. Okay, I see the error. It's 28 here. Okay, you see? Okay, 28 inches. Okay, it was like what? Okay, let me see. 9 point. I don't have a calculator. I'm using the cell phone, and for this type of stuff, it's not good. Okay, 42. This is correct. This one was incorrect. Okay. So they throw me off for a few points. I said like, oh, it's supposed to give me exact. Okay. So it's 2 times the base, that is 42. 2 times 42.75 plus 28 times 4. 197.5 inches squared. Rounded to the nearest whole is 198 inches squared. Ahora, now, you see, that just like, I write a number there. It's just like a typo when I type it on my cell phone. Okay, so the next one, now 195. It's a roof rises 4 feet over a horizontal distance of 6 feet. What is the approximate angle formed by the horizontal and the roof? Okay. So we have a missing angle here. They ask for the angle. We have the opposite. We have the adjacent. So we need to find the angle. So opposite and adjacent is TOA. TOA is the same as the tangent of the angle that you don't know equals 4/6, opposite over adjacent. You are solving for zeta. Each time that you solve for the angle, you move whatever is in the front, tangent, sin, or cos. When you do that, is the inverse. So zeta is the inverse of tangent 4/6. That's what you're gonna write in the calculator. And that give you 33.6. That is around 34 degree. Okay. 96 is what is the value of A and B make equilateral MNOP a parallelogram. So okay. So this one need to be equals to this one because opposite sides in a parallelogram are congruent. So we can solve for one letter here and then substitute in the other letter. Yeah. So let us do that. So it's 3A minus 2B equals to 13. Yeah. If we just we add 2B to the other side, so we can solve for A. So 3A equals 13 plus 2B or 2B plus 13, doesn't matter. 13 plus 2B and divided by 3. So A equals 13 plus 2B divided by 3. Okay. So keep it, save it for later. So this one is equals to this one, but now we have A is all of that. What we need to substitute in this A. So 4 times A, that is 13 plus 2B over 3 yeah, plus b equals 21, yeah. So we need to eliminate that 3, so we multiply everything by 3, yeah. So multiply everything by 3, and that will give you 4 times 13, that is 52. Or first, no, first, you know what, first multiply the 4 and then multiply them by 3. So you eliminate something first, and then 4 times 13 is 52 divided by 3, yeah? Plus 4 times 2 is AB divided by 3, plus B equals 21. And now you can multiply by 3. It's easier this way. So make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So what you multiply by this by 3, cancel the 3. You multiply this by 3, cancel the 3. When you multiply this by 3, it's 3b, and then 21 times 3. Yeah? So therefore, is 52 plus AB plus 3b equals 21 times 3 is 63. These together, 3a plus 3 is 11b plus 52 equals 63. Subtract 52 from 63. So 11b equals 63 minus 52 is 11, and divide by 11. So b is 1. So now substitute b in here and you solve for a. So a equals 13 plus 2 times 1 over 3. So 13 plus 2 is 15, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So A is 5. So the answer is A5, B1. So B. So a motor rocket is launched. It rises to the point 63 feet above the ground and is 48 feet along the ground from the left of the side as shown below. What is the length of the rocket path in the air to the nearest foot? Yeah, so this is the path. Yeah, so so this is Pythagoras, yeah? So a squared plus b squared equals c squared, yeah? A squared plus b squared is equals c squared. So add these together, so we're finding c, so this one. So x equals the square root of that. So 36 squared plus 48 squared. That give you 3,600, and the square root of that is 60. That's it. So it says this circle, the circle with the center point Q has a radius of 10 centimeters. The length of the minor arc NP is 20.42 centimeters to the nearest degree. What is the value of x? Okay. They ask you to find the arc length, yeah? Okay. The central angle equal the arc length ya escribí aquí. Length divided by the radius. Okay. Okay. So okay. So the center angle equal the other arc length times 360 over 2 pi r. Okay, so it's gonna be 20.42 and 360 divided by 2 pi 10. So it's 20. You put it in the calculator and give you 116.99. That is rounded to 117 degree. Okay. 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 It says the figure ABCO is a parallelogram. Okay. So what is the coordinate of the point of intersection of the diagonal? Okay, so pardon. What are the coordinates of the point of intersections of the diagonals? So they ask you cuánto es esto. A, B, and C. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So A plus C divided by 2. So we have this in here. Okay. Okay, so C and A are the x's. Yeah, and this is x, this is x. Or a B is the y. Yeah, this is the y. Okay, and this one it says A plus C. Yeah, that is the x, and this is the B. Yeah, so that means that in this case, this one is divided by 2, so that means it's A plus C divided by 2. Oh, the only one that I have that is this one, yeah? And B divided by 2 by default. Okay? Yeah, so yeah. So what is the point intersection? So it's just this one, this one. Yeah. It's the half of the distance from here to here. So that's why B is divided by 2. And is A plus C. Yeah, because you have A plus C. The beginning and the end. Okay. So it's in the figure. What is the measure of IJK? IJK. So they ask you for this angle. Yeah. So the angle is 50. We follow this. Okay, so that means this is 50. Yeah. So 50 plus 30 is 80, so this is 100. And this by default is 100. Yeah. And K is 30. Okay. I did it by the congruent tails. You see that you have 1 and 1. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is 50, this is 50. So that means that if you have 50, you have 100 in the same, the one that have palito, the stick. Yeah, this together. And the other one in the front. Okay. Okay. It says Darcy used the coordinate grid shown below to sketch, I cannot read, to sketch the location of some important buildings in her town. Each block represents 1 square. Okay, if Darcy could travel in a straight line from her house to school, how many miles would she travel? Okay. And this one will be one straight line. Okay. So from here to here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. And it's 1 and 2. So we can show for Pythagoras to have just a one line, straight line here. So is 6 squared plus 2 squared, so it's 36 plus 4 is 40. And the square root of 40 is around 6.3 miles. Okay. So, it said find the area of the shaded sector of the circle. Okay. Almost the end. Yay. Find the area of the shaded sector. Okay. So the area of the sector is this is 90. It says like 90, yeah. So it's 90 divided by 360 times pi r squared. So it's leaving the pi, so 90 divided by 360 is 1/4. So it's 1/4 times pi times 10 to the second power. So it's 100 divided by 4 pi. 100 divided by 4 is 25 pi. And that's it. It says a factory. A factory uses a biochar below to cut the circle out of sheet metal to make the bottom of buckets. Okay. If the center circle C, what is the equation of the edge of the circular pattern? So the center is 1, 3. Yeah, 1, 3. Center 1, 3. Radius is 1, 2, 3, 4. Radius is 4. Okay, remember that the formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So it's gonna be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 4 squared, and 4 squared is 16. Okay, so that means that I need to finish in 16, 16 and both minus. Minus, 1 and 3 and 16. So we say, okay, so this is the almost the last, or the last ones, yeah? Yeah, those are the last ones. Yay. So a lighthouse stands on a hill 80 meters above the sea level. The measure of the angle MPQ is 60. MPQ. So the whole angle is 60. The measure of NPQ, so this another angle is 30. Yeah. So that means this is 30, this is 30. Well, and both together 60. What is the height of the lighthouse? So here, this is 80. Okay. We have the height of the rock, but we don't have, okay. The lighthouse stands on a hill, units of the thing. Okay. Measure the angle. Okay. Okay, so this is x. Yeah. So we're gonna use tangent of 30. Yeah. Because we are looking for equals 80 over x. Yeah. So that looks like it. Okay, so we're gonna use the bottom one first because we have this one at least and this one, but we don't have the bottom. So we find the bottom and it's opposite adjacent. That's why it's the tangent here. So it's tangent of 30, 80. Opposite adjacent, so we need to find how much is x, this x, so we can find the other measurement here. Yeah, so that switch, so you have x equals 80 divided by tangent of 30. That give you 138.6. Okay, 138. So this is 138.6. Okay, meters. So, so we're gonna use again tangent of 60, the whole angle. Now we're gonna still using the 80 here, 60 x, yeah, the opposite we don't know, but the bottom is 138.6. So, okay, so we multiply this by this. So the x equal 138.6 tangent of 60. That give you 240, but you need to subtract the 80, and that give you 160. Okay. So again, we need to find this side, yeah, based on this one. Okay, so is the opposite and the adjacent, so TOA divide 80 dividido entre el tangent, because we swap, yeah, we swap the x with the tangent, and then is the division of 80 divided by this one and give you 138.6. Okay, but we need this one, yeah, but we have the angle here now is 60 because it's like more elevated, yeah. So tangent of the opposite and adjacent to the angle, yeah, then multiply and give you that the height is 240, but it's 240 completely, not this the only the lighthouse is with the 80 here that we have. So that means, and we need to subtract 80 from the answer and then give you the 160. Okay. Okay, so the last one. The right square pyramid have a base length of 4 inches and the slant height of 7 inches. What is the surface area of the pyramid? Okay. Okay. You need to find what is the surface area of the pyramid. Okay, so the formulas, you need to go to the formulas and then find the surface area of a pyramid. Okay. So here it says that the surface area equals the base plus half the perimeter times the slant height, yeah? The surface area equals the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height times the L. The L is a slant height. Okay? So the base we have a square. Okay, so so base is side to the square, so it's 4 to the square, that is 16. So the perimeter, all the sides are 4, so this is 4, this is 4, so this is 4. So it's the area of the perimeter of the square, sorry. So it's 4 times 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So the perimeter is 4 times the side, and 4 times 4 is also 16. Okay? So we need to substitute this because now it's half of the perimeter times the slant height. So substitution, so it's 16 plus half of the perimeter, that is 16 times the slant height, that is 7. Yeah? So this one is half of 16 is 8, and 8 times 7 is 56, and 56 plus 16. So the surface area is 16 plus 56, that give you 72 inches to the second power. That's the answer D. Oh. Okay, and that's it, guys. So I explained everything that do not have a sound. I don't know what happened with that. Bye.